This is a video diary of my attempt to complete the Cape Wrath Trail in September 2022. The Cape Wrath Trail is regarded as the toughest long-distance hiking route in the UK. Its 370 km length involves high mountains, vast expanses of deep bog, and river crossings through the most rugged of regions in Scotland. It is not an official route, so there are various alternative sections that take you from near Fort William to the lighthouse at Cape Wrath at the northwest corner of Scotland. I hope this video gives an insight to what's involved, or my experience rather, and helps anyone else planning to take on this significant challenge. Enjoy the film. This shows the hike I took for day one. It follows Corry Glen, which is the other side of the loch from Fort William. A fairly long glen, and at the end of it you'd turn right or north up over a hill there, and then you'd ascend down into Glenfinnan eventually. And my hike for day one took me a further 5 kilometres up Glenfinnan itself to a bothy called Corry Hully Bothy. So that's where I pitched a tent for the night. Right in the shadow of a few fairly large mountains, 2 Munros and 1 Corbett. Well, here we are. It's about 9:30 in the morning, and this is what I'd call the true start of the Cape Wrath Trail. People take many routes to get here, well basically two. You either come down from Fort William or you come up from Corry. And the problem for me was the ferry was broken today, so it could have been disastrous, but fortunately my son was able to drive me around. So I'm a bit late now, but at least it'll not cost me half a day or even a day due to a broken down ferry. But it's not looking like it's going to rain today, which is good. Got about 27 kilometres, probably a bit less, probably about 24 kilometres, because I had to get a car around the loch, which wasn't what I wanted to do, but you know, there's going to be many problems on this potentially 2-week hike, so this is just the first one before I even get going. But I'm here now, which is the main thing. The sun's out, which is good. I'm just about to get this big heavy backpack on. The overall weight of the pack is 15.5 kilos. So that's got enough food for 10 days. So I'll need to stock up along the way. But yeah, it feels pretty heavy just now. But it should be okay. And today should consist of 15 kilometres up this track. It's not tarmacked, it's just tarmacked here at the start. And then I'll go up over the hill at the end of Corry Glen for 7k. So looking forward to an easy start to the Cape Wrath Trail and hopefully camping round about Glenfinnan. So I'm a few kilometres into the hike now on day one. No injuries yet, nothing's failed yet, the rain's held off. I've been walking through really quite a scenic woodland next to the river. It's been really quaint, no serious hills or anything, it's been quite relaxing. So today's all about trying to keep fresh, trying not to pull a muscle or strain myself too much, ease myself into the Cape Wrath Trail on day one. Getting to Glenfinnan would be really good, because usually I think people stop this side of the hill I'll be climbing over.
So psychologically I feel I'm a bit ahead. Don't want to quite get to Glenfinnan because there's probably not many places to camp in Glenfinnan itself, so I'll probably stop a bit short. But yeah, going's good so far, very scenic, wonderful track. If only if it was like this all the way up to the Cape, but I know it won't be. There's a nice wee bridge I'm coming up to. And to be honest, loads of nice camping spots already, but at 10:30 it's a bit early. So yeah, enjoying it so far. Less than an hour in. But yeah, hopefully it's like this all day and it'll be quite a pleasant day. Isn't that a marvellous bridge? I'm still going along this track. It's absolutely just covered in cow pat. Quite smelly. It's a flies. Not very nice, but I think I'm obviously getting further and further from the farm, so that's going to peter out. So some of you might think or wonder how fit do you need to be to do the Cape Wrath Trail. Now I do a lot of hill walking. Most weekends I'm out climbing Monroes, not really thinking too much about it, so it's the sort of level of fitness I've got. I'm not a runner, as you can probably tell, but I think you do need to be able to go out day after day potentially and climb Monroes or mountains day after day, because that's effectively what you're doing here for about 14 days probably. Today is quite an easy day, or should be. If you find day one difficult, you probably should turn back, because there's really not much ascent. I think there's 400 or 500 metres ascent in the whole day, and that's assuming you're going up over to Glenfinnan. As I said before, lots of people kind of approach the start of Cape Wrath Trail differently, depending on maybe they come into Fort William later on in the day in the train from elsewhere, because they've not got much time, so they end up camping quite far back this track, or maybe they've got half a day in the camp up at the top of Connor Glen before you go up over the hill. I'm quite fortunate because I live in Glencoe, and even with the ferry breaking down today, I was able to get my son to just drive me around the loch, which is quite a long drive actually, and it added time onto my day, even though it shaved, bloody flies, it shaved probably about 4k off, which I wasn't actually too happy about. You feel like you're cheating a wee bit, but I'm going to pay the price at the end actually, because this is the 18th of September, so I'm just going to miss the last ferry and minibus at the actual Cape if I get there. So I'll need to hike all the way back to the last town I'd walked through. So I am adding significant distance to the end of the hike anyway, so that's my riposte to anyone who says I've cheated. So yeah, I did cut out the first tarmac hike at the start, but it was down to the ferry being broken down, and I will be adding probably about 20k of harder hiking at the end. These bloody deer fly are getting me everywhere. Like, there's one. See that? Oh god, you can't even rub them off. You got to actually pick these things off. Horrible deer fly. Anyway, I'm out in the open now. Maybe that's why the deer fly are out. I'll need to get my hat on. That was unbelievable. Never had a swarm of those deer fly before. That was horrible. Oh god, bloody fly, shit flies. So do you like my new hat? So now that I've got it on, of course, there's no flies to be seen anywhere. So maybe have a wee talk about flies now. The reason I'm out in mid-September is the thought is there will be no midges. The midges have been quite bad this year, especially in September, but it should be gone by now. We're still out last week, so there is a risk they're still around, but I'm kind of hoping they're not. I've been going out a lot for walks in Glencoe and they do seem to have died out, so fingers crossed those deer fly were hopefully the only nasties I'm going to see for quite a while. Famous last words. Starting to get a lot more picturesque. Haven't seen a soul all day, I was going to say. I've only done a few kilometres. But I actually doubt I'll see anyone today because it's a Sunday. Problems with the ferry as well. Not everyone's got a son who lives with them in Glencoe and can just get them to drive round the loch. So I'm thinking anyone who's doing the Cape Raft Trail starting this weekend will have done it Friday or Saturday. I didn't have the option, but I'm out now, probably completely alone, which is nice. And yeah, as I say, trying to just have a nice uneventful day to Glenfinnan, other than the deer fly. This isn't really what I had in mind. It's not that scenic behind you. I think you could maybe move over. Hey? Ah, you better run, pal. You better run. So, I found the source of all the shit on the track. A big bunch of Highland toffee. How you doing, girls? Lovely day? Lovely day. Hope you're having a good one. Yeah? One behind me is not very happy. She keeps, what do cows do? Growl? She keeps making a loud noise. Oh, there's another one now. Hey, nice to meet you. On the Cape Raft Trail. Have a good day, everyone. Might be nice to the locals. It's the first Bothy. I would go in, but I'm not really interested. I think it's locked anyway. It's usually locked. So now about 15 kilometres up the track and I'm coming to the end of it. The track will turn into a path. You can just see it curving up round the hill there, so it's going to change from a very gradual ascent to quite a steep one to get up and over these hills here. And once I'm on the top of this, it'll be very boggy, I think, but I'll be able to see the Glenfinnan area, which should be the end of today. So I've just climbed out of Cona Glen. That's it down there. That's the head of Cona Glen up there. So I've come up for about 15 kilometres on that track, and I've come up this reasonably good path, to be honest, up to about 350 metres. I don't think I've got long to go to the crest of this before I start descending into the Glenfinnan area, so that's what it's looking like now. So I'll get some good views of something new in a few minutes. So I've just come over the other side of the hill now and the views start to open up. There's a Munro over there. I think it's Glenfinnan. There's 2 Munros over there, and I'll be walking down into Glenfinnan, under Harry McPorterhead's viaduct, up the glen, kind of that way, behind these big mountains in the cloud. So it's been a bit boggy coming down through here, but glad to see I've left the rain behind me. The rain didn't actually get to me, but I can see it's raining in Connor Glen now, so I've been a bit lucky there. And it was raining here before I arrived, but now it's a bit of blue sky, so let's hope that continues for the next 2 weeks. Ah, for goodness sake, this route is closed. You can bugger off. I'm going anyway. Look at that. Determined not to let people over this bridge, eh? And there's the same on the other side. Need to do better than that to stop Cape craft trailers. Bit dodgy climbing over it though. You know, I wasn't going to walk back about a mile to the last bridge, thank you very much. Well, that was a bit rubbish. Not only did they try and stop me crossing that bridge before I got to the visitor centre, I got to the cafe, visitor centre, the cafe was shut. Up to their other cafe, the Viaduct View, and they'd stopped selling hot dogs. All I could get was a sandwich and a Coke. Great. That was 4 o'clock, so it's not too late. Anyway, I had a sandwich and a Coke, and I was meant to camp round about here, but it's just too early. There's Glenfinnan Monument. Tick that box. But yeah, so it's 4:15. It's far too early to pitch my tent, so I'm just going to keep going, eating into my planned day 2 now. So I think I'll get up to Corry, Hully, Bothy. That's the Glenfinnan Viaduct, made famous by Harry McPorterhead. Been here a couple of times before because there's 2 Munros up the end of this path, or road rather. So I think it's about 5k along this tarmac road, and then I'll be looking for a spot to pitch my tent. So it's now almost 4:30, so that'd be about 5:30 I'm pitching a tent, which would be pretty much ideal. Okay, so I'm now at the Bothy, all the way up at the end of the tarmac road in Glenfinnan. Dump my bag there. This looks like a good spot to pitch a tent. Nice river next to me, so I think I'll be dipping my feet in that at the very least, possibly more. And I'm going to now go and have a wee look at this Bothy, because I believe it's quite a special one. Let's have a look. Oh, it's empty. Now, you see me? It's awfully dark in here. Now, I can fix that. Ho ho ho! There's power. There's even a kettle. This is one of the few Bothys with power. Isn't that fantastic? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my tent, and I'm then going to bring my phone and stuff in here just to charge them up, might as well. But I never really intended to make it this far, but I got to just before Glenfinnan where I wanted to stop and camp. There was a camper van stopped there. They put out their deck chairs and everything right where I wanted to put my tent. But it was about 3 o'clock, so it was definitely too early to camp then. So I thought I'll push on and I'll get to this Bothy. Because I've been here a couple of times, and I did remember seeing people camping next to it. I couldn't really remember the details, but this looks fantastic. So I'm going to set up here, going to have a wash in the river and then chill out, have my dinner.
Day 2 started at Corry, Hully, Bothy in Glenfinnan, and immediately, first thing in the morning, there was a steep climb on a very good track, but up over quite a high pass between two mountains there, and then a steep descent into very boggy terrain, and finally you reach Glenfinnan. And Glenfinnan is a fairly long glen again. You pass one of the other Bothys, a Shiel Bridge, up over a hill, past a couple of lochans. Very rough terrain this is Noida, and very rough, and ended up in Sourlies, Bothy.
So that's where I camped last night. I've got to move. Oh Jesus. Pretty bad midges. I don't know if it's just because I was camped next to the Bothy there. But didn't have midges all day yesterday. And then I turned up here and it is a lovely spot. They even cut the grass for camping down there. But the midges came out. Oh, really horrible. So now I've moved, there's no midges. So I'll be able to put my head net away and get cracking up this glen here. For the start of my day 2. This Bielach up here, it's quite a high one. I think it's about 600 metres, and once you get over that, there's a long boggy pathless section into Glenfinnan. That's a long boggy glen. I'll be making my way up through that eventually to get to Sourlies Bothy, which is my planned stop for tonight. I'm up near around 300 metres altitude this morning, and about almost 3 kilometres. Up there's a Monroe, up there's a Corbett. I know the Corbett's called Streep, it's quite a peaky one, and that Monroe's one of the two you do from Glenfinnan. I'm heading up to this pass. The mist's gradually lifting today, which is good, because the midges love the mist. I could do with a break, but I'm going to get a minute or so when you've stopped before they're all descending upon you. So hopefully up there it'll be a bit windy. I'll be able to get my breath. Tough start to the day, to be honest. Straight into a climb up this track on cold legs. But we're getting there. I felt like I was rushed this morning out of the tent, because I was by all the midges. So I had to pack up in a hurry while they were all trying to get at me. So I've just taken a break here. This pretty idyllic spot just before I get up to the top of the Bielach. Had what you might call a Cape Wrath shower. Sticking my head in the burn. Feel a lot better for it. So finished those snacks that were meant to be for yesterday night, but I haven't even organised my bags yet because I was in so much of a rush. I'll need to do that when I'm sure there's not going to be any midges, but the cloud is trying to lift. I have no idea what the weather's going to be like over the other side of the Bielach. But this will be the high point of today, so it's coming pretty early on, and then it'll be up to Glenfinnan, but it's probably going to be very boggy in Desiree, so it's going to be hard work. But it feels pretty high up here actually. So the the Bothy where I stayed last night is way around the corner there, so you can see a bit of track way down below there. So this track's actually making it fairly easy, or a lot easier than it would be without a track. There's deer on the ridge, I just noticed them. See if we can zoom in. Might not pick it up in the video, but they're definitely up there watching me. There's quite a lot of them actually. I've just come down from up there, and it's pretty steep. A lot of people say it's really steep, but I would say it's quite easy. Biggest problem I had was trying not to step on all the frogs. Hundreds of frogs. Streep up there in the cloud. Spin round. That's where I'm going. Glenfinnan is down at the bottom there. It's going to take me ages to get there though. This is a deceptively long glen. Still not seen anyone today, apart from a few deer and frogs. Oh, I'm glad that's over. Oh, that was to say it's boggy is an understatement. Boggy McBogfest. My God, I'm no stranger to a boggy path, but that was about as bad as it gets for me in Monroe's. It just went on and on. My feet are now wet. So that's the hardest bit of the Cape Wrath Trail so far, coming down from the Bealackett Street. And people normally moan about the steep bit at the top. I find that easy. I could do that all day. That was fine. It's the miles and miles of bog after it that was the problem. But it's all done now, and I'm now pretty much in Glenfinnan. Well, Glenfinnan is up that way actually. So getting more and more into the wilderness, and I'm going to hit a track in these trees coming up, so probably won't be much scenic shots from there. It's quite a dense forest. I'll be following a track in there for a few kilometres. So my watch is telling me I'm scheduled to arrive at my destination about 7 o'clock this evening. I will pick up pace on the track, but I'll lose a lot again on the... See, this is the problem, bogs everywhere. I'll lose that again on in the terrain after the track once I get into Noida. So, wet feet, spirit's still fairly high. I need to dry out my shoes tonight. Well, on that point, you may notice I'm wearing trail running shoes. You might think you should wear hiking boots. People have very strong views about that. I don't. I use both. If I'm doing a high summit, a rocky Monroe, I'll definitely wear hiking boots, but if I'm doing multi-day, I prefer to use trail running shoes. I tried both on the Sky Trail this year. I had 3 days in hiking boots and 3 days in these, and I did prefer wearing these. So So there's pros and cons to both. The main one being, it could be surprising, but if you're going to get wet feet on multi-days, you're probably better using trail running shoes, because they'll probably dry out. Hiking boots won't. If you're going to end up with wet feet, and we will be wading through rivers on this Cape Raft trail, so it doesn't matter what you're wearing, they will get wet inside. Once that happens with hiking boots, that's it, game over. They're never going to get dry for the rest of your trip. Whereas with trail running shoes, there's a chance they'll dry out overnight. So anyway, enough of this excitement. There's a bridge over there. I'm going to cross that bridge over a big river and up the track through, I believe, a very boggy path through the woods. But we're used to bog now. And then onto quite a nice track, I think. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of Glenfinnan now. See the 3 Monroes of Glenfinnan up there. That one, and there's another one in the cloud there. The last one's the best one. I think it's called Sourlies. It's quite a peaky one. And round behind me is Bothy. No, I didn't sneeze, that's its name. I'm not going down. It's quite boggy around that, I think. And I'm obviously not staying there, it's only about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Quite noisy. There's a tractor down there cutting the grass. I'm sure it's making hay bales or something. But yeah, it's not normally noisy like this here. This is quite a remote glen. I'll be heading up there now. Heading up to the side of Sourlies. Heading up to the left of Sourlies. And descending down to the sea, actually, where there's the Sourlies Bothy, which I plan to stay at tonight. Not sure about this. Oh. This wood doesn't feel very strong. Oh shit. Not the best of bridges, but did the job. That deer's been standing there for quite a while. All the time I've took to put my waterproofs on, it's been standing there watching me. So yes, it's raining and it's looking pretty bleak as I look forward. So no one said it would rain on the Cape Raft Trail. For goodness sake. Starting to wonder whether it'd be quicker just swimming the loch. I'm not going to get any wetter. It's a stunning place, this. Really, really remote. And there's this loch, and then there's another loch just on this. It's really scenic. It's a bit wet. I'm just about to go down the final descent to Sourlies Bothy. It's about 5:10, so not before time, and still a significant distance to go, and a lot of descent down to the seashore actually. But this is a spot where I've seen on videos quite a lot, and I just think it's a fantastic view. This is Noida, and a lot of people want to go and see the Eiffel Tower and Taj Mahal and all that stuff. I wanted to come here. So wait till you see this. It's just stunning. So the two lochs I passed are just up round the corner to the left there, and you have this winding river and just rugged mountains either side and everywhere. It's just superb. Doesn't matter that it's raining, it adds a bit of atmosphere actually. It's just amazing, an amazing view. So I'm going to have to walk down this path now. Oh, you can see the sea, and there's some sunshine over there. So that's what I'm walking down to now. It'll take quite a while. I'm just going to take a while to soak in the atmosphere here. It's just, what a location. It'll take you hours to walk here from wherever you can get. It's just miles and miles from any road. So what a privilege to be sitting here on my own. It's not raining too badly, so I can just spend 5 minutes to have a drink before I descend down the hill. Nice bridge.
Here's the actual recording of my route that I took on day 3. So from Sourlies, I turned round the headland there. I was quite lucky because the tide was out, so I didn't need to go over that hill into the glen. And then it was basically bog fest for hours, and very little in the way of good tracks or paths, and culminating in a fairly steep climb over pathless hillside. Once you're up at the top, there is a path, and the descent into Barrisdale was fairly easy, but overall it was quite a slow going day.
So day 3 of the where am I again? Cape Raft Trail. That's where I came from yesterday evening, down from there. That's my tent, that's the sea. The tide seems to be out. I just wonder if we can get round this headland on the shore rather than going up over this hill. So let me have a look at that. Not quite packed up yet. I've had to do some minor surgery on a couple of little toes, which is quite annoying. But apart from the blistered toes, I feel fairly good. This should be one of the toughest days. Trying to get to Kinlochhorn, but I'm thinking I might actually stop at Barrisdale, because there's a really nice wild campsite there with a Bothy again. It's about 10k short of Kinlochhorn where I want to be, but with the blisters, it just, I think I might in practice just stop at Barrisdale. I think the temptation will be too great. If it stays like this weather-wise, it'll be great. but it was raining a lot yesterday, which is why my feet got soaked. That contributed to the blisters. So anyway, that's life. That's life on the Cape Raft Trail. So here I've managed to set off at low tide, I think. It looks pretty low to me, which should mean I can walk around this headland. If it was high tide, I'd be going up over this hill. So fingers crossed. It looks like the way's clear for me. So sun's out, which is nice. Makes a change from yesterday's rain. If the sun's this hot when I'm climbing up hills, it won't be so nice. But once I get round this corner, I'll be facing the bog of doom. So I'm in the middle of the huge bog. It's not been too bad actually. I found a good path that goes right through it. And see behind me, it's a rather imposing Corbett. It's Noida. Oh, bloody flies are here now, I've stopped. Keep walking. And over there, hey girls, how you doing? Bunch of deer. All sitting in the grass. Is there a stag in the middle there? They're all does. Maybe one stag in the middle. Have a good day. Chilling out at the beach. That was the headland I went round over there. This is the bog. It was a bit easier than I thought it would be. It was still pretty bad, but if you stay as close to the river as you can, I think that's probably the best route. Other people seem to want to stay next to the hill, and then they end up potentially even having to cross this river without this glorious bridge. Yeah. But very pointy mountain there, Sgurnakish. Fabulous Monroe. And there's Noida again. So I'm walking up the left side of this river. I'll be going up the glen that way. Medic. That's Noida, Sgurnakish. I've just spent over 2 hours, I'd say, wading through bog. Still got bog, but I've now come into this gorge area. This is where it starts to get a lot more scenic. Yeah, you don't see many people posting videos of the bog that I've left behind there. It's not very inspiring. It's a bloody pain in the arse, to be honest. And there's no let up because I've just got this constantly, so the speed I'm able to travel through this is pretty slow. Kinloch Horn's looking less and less likely today, and yeah, you can see why. Just can't make any progress here. Oh look, a nice big slippy slab. This is a stunning location here, and actually an opportunity to pitch tent. A really nice spot for a tent actually. What a location. A lovely river flowing through into the cliffs. What's the time? It's only 11:30, so I'm no camping. I've got to get over this bloody hill here. That's my job for the day, really. I've got to do that as a minimum. But it's hard to leave this spot. I'm skirting right round Ben Eden, right round the back of it now. Come from winding my way up this gorge here. Loads of flies. My route should have been to continue up alongside the river for quite a while and then to cut up there without any path. But I saw this kind of ridge line here and I'm taking it. And it's paying off already. I've been sitting here for 5 minutes and there's not a single fly. It's wonderful. First time in ages I've been able to just sit, have a break, have a drink, dry off a bit as well, and there's no bog, very little bog, so even though this is going to be a hard climb up pathless, long grassy terrain, it's going to be a bit easier than what I've had, I think. So it's nice being out in the wind. I'm drying off a bit, and the scenery is just fantastic. It's so epic everywhere you look. It's very inhospitable, but it's also very beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to crack up this hill, get out of the way. It's looking more and more likely I'm going to stop at Barrisdale Bay rather than Kinlochthorne. Still haven't had any reception to text home, so hopefully they won't have called Mountain Rescue, right? Because I don't even think, I may not even have it tomorrow, never mind today. Anyway, I'm glad that's over. So my route, which was pathless, went from down there, pretty much where the river disappears in this view, up and across and up, really boggy. I fell into a big hole, face planted the long grass, which is just what you don't want to do, but I was alright. And this is onto the path now. I don't know where this path goes, but it looks pretty good path for where we are, because we really are in the middle of nowhere here. And this path will take me all the way over this hill. I think I'm at 415 metres here. I think it'll climb to about 515 or so. So there's a bit climbing still, and then it's a long descent to Barrisdale Bay, where there's a bothy and nice cut grass for tents. So I think I'll be stopping there tonight. I've only done 8.5 kilometres today, but it was the Sourlies Bothy was way over there, and the route took you zigzagging all the way through massive bogs, loads of flies. There's no flies here now, I'm glad to say, but oh, that was torture. I think this is the toughest section of the whole Cape Raft Trail. I've seen other people only manage about 10 kilometres or so around about this day, or this section. So I think if I get to Barrisdale Bay, that'll be about 15k, which is pretty respectable, but it does put me behind my plan by about 8 kilometres. Sorry, 10 kilometres. I'm tired. There's Ben Eden again. Probably this will be the last time you see Ben Eden. It's a spectacular mountain, and I've spent most of the day trying to get round it. And yeah, once I go over this hill, it'll be out of view. Okay, so I've made it over the hill now. Off in the distance there you can see Ladder Ben. That's the west of Noida. There's two other Munros here in west of Noida, and Looney Bin's one of them. I think I'm basically on the the side of it. But yeah, descending down to Loch Horn, I guess. But Barristale Bay, which is quite a few kilometres down this path, so it'll take quite a while. But it's always good to see a new landscape, and as I turn the corner soon I'll see the sea again. Okay, so I've stopped for the day at this Bothy. It's the Barristale Bothy. There's electricity in here, and there's a cold water tap, and there's also a toilet. So for £5 a night, that's what you get. My tent's up there. You could stay in the Bothy, but I prefer to stay in the tent. As you can see, that's where I came from actually. Oh god! As you can see, the weather's coming in quite bad. It's even worse over the other side of the Bothy. So I've just cooked my dinner. It's only 4 o'clock. There's no camping spots. If I was to go further, I'd be committing to 2 hours at least, and my feet are pretty trashed at the moment. I need to do some blister maintenance. But yeah, I think this is a wise choice. I've only done about 14 kilometres today. It was a really tough 14 kilometres. That's probably the worst part of the whole Cape Wrath Trail, I reckon. There's just so much bog, and just climbing up through bog and more bog, and it just took forever. So I've got my wet clothes hanging up, and unfortunately I've still not got any phone reception, so I still haven't been able to message home. But hopefully tomorrow I'll get phone reception as I get high up into Shiel Bridge, or the Monroe's overlooking Shiel Bridge. If I don't make it to Shiel Bridge, I might have to camp high tomorrow, which will be unplanned and a bit of an adventure, but then I've done that quite a lot anyway. But hopefully up there I'll get phone reception. So today, well, I started on trashed feet, and as I say, I walked through bog all day. But I started to wear my sealskin socks, so I think they're working quite well, so that my trail shoes get as wet as I like, but my feet stay dry in the sealskin socks. So that might be the formula for the rest of the trip. So not much to see now that the weather's coming in, but what I'll do is I'll get my dinner, chill out for a bit, and I'll probably have a very early night. Might be an evening to go to sleep.
The track for day 4 was an epic day. Because I hadn't reached Kinlochhorn the day before as I had planned, I really gave myself a lot to do, and I didn't really intend to walk all the way to Shiel Bridge on this day, but circumstances dictated that I really had to do that. So the initial walk along Loch Hourn is very difficult. It's very undulating. There is a path, but it just seems to go on forever. It took me about 3.5 hours just to get along that 10-kilometre stretch. And then I basically had the whole of my planned day 4 from the start at Kinlochhorn up over the highest point on the Cape Wrath Trail in the shadow of the Forkin Ridge there. So a very high point at about 720 metres altitude. And then the descent into Shiel Bridge. So an epic day, a fairly unplanned day, but due to the weather, it was really kind of forced upon me. So yeah, a long, grueling day.
And all that stuff. What are we going to say?
We'll acknowledge you when we do. What's the walk? Glen I'll acknowledge you.
Alright, yeah. So this is started day 4 of the Cape Wrath Trail. These guys kept me up all night with their wine and their chat.
Wine, women and song. Sorry, no women.
So these guys are doing the Noida Monroes.
Yes, yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. 2 yesterday, 1 today.
One today.
Yeah.
And then a couple of easy ones in Glenfinnan.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Piece of cake, yeah.
So
After
at
a night
least
in the pub tonight, the shower.
they keep telling me of all the luxuries they're going to get later on, and I've got about 12 days to...
We'll be thinking about you, Grant. We'll be thinking about it.
Alright, so off onto the trail today. Alright, so like 20 minutes into today's hike. The weather's kind of holding off. Great view of Undulating up there. That's where I came from yesterday. And this is where I'm going. Now this turns the corner here into Loch Hourn, I guess it is. And it's 3 or 4 hours to walk 10 kilometres. Described as the worst part of the West Island Way on Loch Lomond side on steroids. So really looking forward to that. I'm behind my plan. I should have been in Kinlochhourn last night, but yeah, well, you saw what happened yesterday, so I was too knackered, broken, and didn't have enough time, didn't have enough daylight hours to get through this 10 kilometres last night. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to stay at Kinlochhourn or make it a mammoth day. It really would be a mammoth day to try and get to Shiel Bridge. So a lot depends on the weather as well. There's a river I need to cross halfway between Kinlochhourn and Shiel Bridge. If it's in spate, it's pretty unpassable. So I need to take a judgment call in Kinlochhourn where to just have a short day today and tackle that tomorrow. So we'll see. The house is over there. There'll be no road over that side either. I'm about 6.5 kilometres still to go to Kinlochhourn. It's been like this most of the way, very up and down, very ferny. The path is actually pretty good. As you can see, it's not like it's a faint path or anything. It's really good, but pretty overgrown. Very much like the side of Loch Lomond on the West Island Way. That's it's taken quite a while to get anywhere, just like Loch Lomond. Trousers are soaked with all this vegetation, all this bracken. But can't complain too much. The weather's been quite kind and a bit of a breeze, so there's not so many flies today. This is very scenic. So just getting to the head of Loch Hourn now. Got about 4 kilometres to go to the end of the loch, and we can now see where the route beyond will take me. I think there's a track round the corner. You can just make it out. It goes along the hillside there. There's one pole. Goes along the hillside there, and you need to contour around this big mountain here, and eventually you're going between that mountain and that mountain. That's a Forkin Ridge up there. So it's quite an arduous route. This up there's the highest point of the Cape Raft Trail, so it's going to be a struggle to manage that today. Just need to get to Kinlochhourn and think about it. But yeah, this path's been pretty arduous as well. up and down and boggy. It's taken ages, but I knew that would be the case. But it should be in Glenfinnan in about an hour and a half probably. This loch is so dark still. Oh god, this is taking forever. I'm only 2 kilometres from Glenfinnan. Not a moment too soon. I need a break. I think there's a cafe there, or tea room, so I'll be getting some cake for a start. Let's see where that takes me. Okay, must have been dropped. Someone's going to have a problem later on, I think. Oh no. Oh, it's raining on me now. Oh. Need a garden around here. Oh, I'm getting soaked. Oh god, I'm going to have to put this camera away. So just checked at the Glenfinnan cafe, and apparently they're closed for the season. Not entertaining, they're taking me in for B&B either or anything. I have to pre-book. So even though I met a couple going the other way who said there was a lovely couple of people around this cafe and B&B, serve food. I get there and they're a bunch of twats. Hey, turned me away at lunchtime. Closed for the season. Not happy. So I'm just going to have to batter on, see how many more miles I can get under my belt today before a wild camp somewhere. At least it'll make tomorrow's hike into Shiel Bridge a bit easier. So I could camp just here, but it's only 12:30, so I'm not going to camp here. I'll try and get up high anyway. So yeah, what I was actually starting to think about having a half zero day, or stopping at lunchtime, having some food and just chilling out in a bed. But not to be. So I'll just need to rough it up in the hills somewhere. Oh well. Right, so I'm on the track from hell. Just come out of Glenfinnan, not quite at the top of it. It's really steep, really steep. I'm up at 200 metres already. I've left Glenfinnan behind me, never to return. Bloody cafe, eh? How can they say they're out of season in September? Are they only open 3 months of the year? Might as well just stop advertising themselves as a cafe. I turn up at 12:30 and they say it's shut, it's out of season, go away. And I know there was 2 people staying there last night. Anyway, I don't even know where I'm going to camp tonight, because I think Shiel Bridge is asking a bit much. I know there's a kind of shelter hut up here at Push. I'll stay in that. Unfortunately it's this side of the river and I believe it's going to rain heavily tonight, so I'd really like to get across that river before it goes into spate, but it's raining already. just to make life even better. Yeah. Oh, well, all I can do is walk on and see what comes up. So up at about 250 metres now, getting closer and closer to the Forking Ridge. It's about 2 o'clock and I can see back where I came from this morning at the end of that loch basically, and round the corner. You can also see all that rain on its way. So this is looking a bit dodgy today in terms of getting a tent set up. As you can see, there's nowhere to pitch a tent. I've not seen anywhere all the way up here. So it's only 2 o'clock, so I'm not in panic mode yet. But there's a long way to go. That's the shelter hut, but it's 2:30, so I'm going to keep going. And this is the infamous river that you can't get across when it's in spate. With all this rain coming, I think the right thing to do is to cross it now. So it doesn't look too bad. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. Right, how do I get started? Go back over there. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Oh crap. Doesn't look bad, he says. Oh shit. Oh. Oh yes. Crossed like a champ. Haha. This has been torture. Oh. Just miles and miles of pathless terrain, contouring, lumpy grass, all sorts of nasties. I've now found a very faint path, and I'm almost at 600 metres, which means I've got a bit over 100 metres to go till the top. Or pass between these two Munros you can't see. I'm absolutely knackered. Didn't really plan to come this far today. Still a long way to Shiel Bridge. Right. One more sprint over the top. So this is a high point of the Cape Craft Trail. Sorry about the view, or lack of. I've got about 715 metres between the two Munros, the Forking Ridge and Bothy. So now, 4:30. Funny thing is, I thought I might camp here, not yet. Let's see how far I can get. Sorry, Shiel Bridge. I'm in Glenfinnan now. That's the Forking Ridge behind me. I'm now on the Munros path. I know where this goes. I'll be cutting off it down there, down into this glen. That glen goes all the way to Glenfinnan. Sorry, Shiel Bridge. This is Glenfinnan. So yeah, getting closer and closer to Shiel Bridge, but still a long way away, and it's getting pretty late now. I certainly can't camp up here, so it's starting to get a bit worrying. I'm going to put this camera away and march on. approaching Shiel Bridge now. I think it's about 3 kilometres away. Still don't know where I'm staying tonight.